How has it been so far? Has it been like frustrating? Has it been exciting? Has it been like hopeless? Has it been
all of that? Yeah, all of it.
times,
all of it.
yeah.
All of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite a roller coaster. I went back to Calgary in May, which is about a month ago now, to attend my grandparents' funeral, and part of that was staying in the basement of my parents' house for 10 days, which it was just like just crazy making. I was like, this will be fun. This will be fun. I didn't even, because you're traveling for a funeral and you're thinking about other things, and it's just like that's not the first thing on your mind. I'm gonna go, we're gonna make this big thing happen, and then we'll deal with whatever needs to be dealt with. But my parents are there in their house. My aunt and uncle are also there, which I didn't clue into until I arrived. And so there were these like 4 parental figures and me in the basement, and
living there
for the duration of the time that we were all there for the funeral. And I just I just hid in the basement like as often as I could, or hid in the backyard. I was just like, I cannot be in this, like the center of all of my family stuff is here in this house. Less with my uncle and my aunt, but more with like my parents are around. And wait, I'm a bit lost now. What question am I answering?
You're talking about what it's like to be in this place of kind of like adjustment, or this kind of
catching up phase. Oh yeah, and you were talking about like the roller coasters.
Yeah.
So we had everything. We had really incredible, moving experiences with the funeral of my grandparents, and seeing my parents, my mother especially, get emotional at the funeral. That was something that I had seen less than a handful of times in my life. To see my mom cry. I think that was like the 3rd time in my life that I've seen her cry. And that was like, oh, okay, mom can do that. Okay. And then to see other members of the community and members of my family also be really emotional. I was like, okay, so we can do this. We have emotions. Yeah, Chinese people can do this. And then having like this, I had a conflict with my dad in the car about a political issue that had all sorts of like undercurrents of like anger and misunderstanding throughout. And then at one point I was just like, I'm not having this conversation anymore. I walked out of the car, and then like a day later, I was the first one to approach him to try to process it, and then it went totally sideways. It was really like aggravating, and then it turned into a really intensely moving, connecting exchange between me and my dad, but in such an awkward way. And yeah, I'm realizing that I'm just speaking a bit in like abstract vignettes, and I don't know if this is like clear.
Yeah, but you're gesturing that as messy. It was like all of the above and more.
Yeah, it was all of it. It could have been messier, but it was just like, this is an experience at family. Yep. Yeah. One great memory that I do have is making dumplings with my parents and my sister, and our family dumplings are like, this is the thing that we do every time somebody
Crazy
comes
Rich
home.
Asians.
Yeah. Exactly, except we're not Crazy Rich Asians.
We're just Asians.
We're just crazy Asians.
We're just crazy Asians.
Yeah. So we're making these dumplings, and there's a technique of rolling the wrappers and out of like mixing the filling, and exactly how you. That's our timer for half an hour.
For half an hour.
Yeah, cool.
Put on another one.
And there's like a technique for folding them and pressing them and cooking them, and up until the time that I was like 38, in that moment, I had never been given the chance to really try to make dumplings. It was always like, this is how you do it. I'm going to show you. Okay, you try once or twice. No, that's wrong. Okay, stop it. I'm going to do it now because we need to have dinner. So I was never really given the chance to practice and to learn the skill. And this time I was like, you guys, like, I will never learn this if you don't just give me the chance to do it. And I know I can do it. Like, I'm a very capable person. Yeah. All you need to do is do it a couple of times and figure out the thing yourself. And they let me do it. So I was like rolling the dumpling wrappers, and my sister was closing the dumplings. And yeah, like some of them were pretty wonky, and it was fine. And then like both my mom and dad like slowly saw that we were really interested in learning. And so they're like, okay, here's a tip. Here's this tip, try this. And then it got better. And then at one point, they both walked away to do other stuff. And it was just me and my sister making dumplings. And I was like, Annie, the parents left us alone with the dumplings. Do you realize how momentous an occasion this is? She was like, yeah. The parents left us with the dumplings.
That's so heartwarming.
Yeah, it was special. Yeah, and then we cooked them and then we ate them and they were fine. Yeah.
What a beautiful story on multiple levels. Like, of the, you assert, like, you exercising your agency of, I can do things, I'm going to do the thing. Your parents, it's not like them probably assuming that you had no interest, but then being, like, pleasantly surprised about, like, actually this thing that we've been doing, we just assumed was always a burden, but maybe our kids are interested in it. And then this kind of, like, exchange of being able to, like, to learn and to share advice. And then finally actually finding validation or, like, recognition from your parents implicitly. That,
you're not gonna fuck it up.